Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Welcome to a new day, and I hope that you're doing well wherever you are. We are a global community of women all around the world, and I want to thank you so much for being here. Tell your friends about 60 and Me. We are here to guide the path and to be an inspiration and to share the journey with you as we get older. Lots of stereotypes I want to talk to you about today that are all circling around this concept of relevance. We seem to reach this tragic reality when we reach our 60s of losing currency, losing our impact on the world, and part of it's in our own minds, I think. And I think that there are some things that we can do to restart the narrative, to get people thinking differently about older women. Now, I know that there's a lot of things that we're doing already that are making a difference. We're getting out into the world, we're working longer, we're mentoring, volunteering, but also we're just showing that we're active, healthy, dynamic, and interested in the world. We keep up with trends. We want to know what's going on in the world. And we can be, I truly believe this, a force for goodness and a force for inspiration, especially during this time with the COVID pandemic. We have been through so much. We have faced fear. We have dealt with, well, not pandemics, perhaps, but illness, loss, fear, and tragedy. We know what it feels like. And I mean, as I get older myself, I just and things happen to me that are, take me into places that I never thought I'd be. I get an understanding for other people in that world. I mean, if you haven't been divorced, I was divorced over 15 years ago, but if you have not been divorced, you do not understand, in my opinion, what it's like to go through a divorce. If you've lost someone that was really dear to you, a parent or a friend or a partner, unless you've had that happen to you. And so women today who are over 60 have been through lots of bumps in their lives, and I think they can add lots of relevance. Yeah, we're all facing like an unprecedented time. The world is now changed dramatically for everyone, and we don't know what's going to be ahead for us as older women either. But I think that there's some day-to-day assumptions about living and about building a resiliency, kind of relevancy plan that I think can be really valuable. So Elaine Ambrose wrote this article on how to continue to feel relevant as a woman over 60. And I want to share that part of that article with you, and also just kind of riff on my own thoughts about this, because I have thought about it a lot. As women come to me in the community and say, I just don't feel valuable anymore. I don't feel like I've got anything to offer. Or I do feel invisible. You're right, Margaret, about not being invisible, but I do feel invisible when I go to a cafe and I'm ignored, or when I have a point of view and no one asks me to share it, or they don't listen when I offer my suggestion. So I think that for me, what Elaine was talking about here was really a high level, change the narrative. But I'd like to talk about 10 things that I think we can do, some traits that we can embody that will help us to change that narrative, and that will help us to convince other people who are younger to actually listen and learn. We don't want to be the wiser old, the crone. That's not what we're looking for. We're just looking for people to see that our experience is valuable, our life challenges have taught us and shaped us into someone that can help. So I think the first thing that we have to agree or understand is that everyone's context has changed. Everything's changed for everyone. So I think as older women, we also need to appreciate that the younger people are also going through changes of feeling relevant and important, and just they're not getting to work, they're not working with their colleagues, the whole pandemic mentality. So everyone is changing. The context for everyone is changing. The second thing, and realizing that is really important. The second thing to realize and incorporate into your life is that we've got to accept the reality and move on. And I know that some people are holding on, to wanting things to go back the way they were, or to an old time when everything was understandable and made sense and was predictable, and it's just not going to happen. The reality has changed. We've got to accept it and move on. That's the second thing that we have to do. The second trait that the older women can adopt that's going to change the narrative. The third thing is to stay current on trends. Don't think that all that you've learned in your life, all that you've experienced is going to be the answer to all the problems. Just stay current. What's going on now? Now, for me, I mean, I think a lot about young kids today and social media. I think about, I didn't have that when I was a child, neither did you. And in fact, I didn't have a cell phone. You know, my mom didn't even know what a cell phone was. If you had told her that there would be this device you could hold and talk to me to get me in for dinner, she would just laugh at me. But, you know, so basically, you know, we have to stay on top of trends and understand how that's impacting. So Instagram, you know, the way that people post their updates and their life stories on Instagram or Twitter. I mean, they shift. All these different things shift. But we have to actually accept that, you know, there's a changing world out there. People are talking to each other differently. Instead of phoning, they text. Instead of writing, they do videos. It's just the way it is. And by the way, these videos, we've got like hundreds, and we've got thousands, 1,800 videos on our YouTube channel about this topic and other topics. So please subscribe, and also just click the notification bell, because then you'll hear and you'll know when more videos are coming. Okay, fourth thing, value personal relationships and trust. You've got to trust in people. And I know that is so hard when you can't even see them, or you can't touch them or hug them. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing, though, you've got to really, trust in the personal relationships and work on them. Call people, send them an email. Don't wait for them to call you. You know, just treasure and value and trust that they're going through probably something that you're going through too. Talk to them. Another thing is number 5 is to trust your tribe. Find your tribe. Here we are, 60andMe. We're an online magazine. Yes, we're not real. You know, we don't we haven't got a forum that you can talk to each other. Although we do have something I'll talk to you about in a second. And that is our Patreon group, which is an exclusive VIP club for women who do want to talk a little bit more, at a different higher level, and personally. And so there's about 800 women in that community now. We're friends. We've known each other now, many for 2 or 3 years, and it's just so much fun. And we have live shows every 2 weeks, and it's a subscription. It's $3 a month to be able to be part of that inner group, that smaller community, and hopefully that will be something that some of you will consider. I'm just checking my lipstick. It seemed like it had gone somewhere. Videotaping on a phone. Anyway, the sixth, so find your tribe. Sixth thing is to invest in a new look invisibility cloak. Invisibility cloaks are okay. They let you close when you want to, go behind it, be yourself, be independent, and that invisibility cloak is valuable. But make it a new look one. Make it one that's got an on-off switch. You know, that you can actually turn it off when you don't want it to be invisible, where you can be part of the world, your contribution can be valued. It's a new look invisibility cloak. Design your own. The seventh thing is to project confidence. Now, if there's one thing that I think women tend to lose as they get into their 60s and 70s and older, and even 50s, is that they lose confidence in their looks, in their style, just who they are. I mean, our faces are changing. We've got age spots and wrinkles, and no concealer under the sun is going to hide the smile lines. And I'd rather have smile lines than no smiles. You know, so I think that's really important. Another thing that's number 8 is to embrace magic aging beautifully. Yes, I do tutorials on makeup. I've just done one recently on foundations. You know, it's just enjoy the aging process. Use makeup to kind of smooth out the skin a bit, put some blush on, mascara, just play with it. And also just your body as it changes. Don't worry, in my opinion, about the extra 5 pounds. Just, enjoy your food, eat a nutritious plant-based diet if you can. But just kind of age beautifully, age magically. It's all good. There's no illusion. It's just your magic. 9, dance alone sometimes. I think that Elaine talks about this. Sometimes you just got to dance alone. There just may not be no partner in your life. No one to hug you. No one to feel sensual and sexual and attractive to. He just may not be there. So you got to dance alone. I think that we all get that. I mean, I think that it's funny when I read sometimes the comments like, what are you doing during the pandemic? Oh, I'm just dancing around my living room, or I'm doing yoga by myself. You've got to just be at peace with walking alone sometimes. Grab hands, hold hands, be together when you can, but yeah, dance alone sometimes and enjoy it. Enjoy the dancing. Put on a fancy dress, just dance around the room. Music is good too. Finally, number 10, trait that a woman over 60 can embody as an older woman is to plan for a new future. Don't give up. Don't think that this is the end. You know, this is the dark winter that's never going to end. Tom Foolery just did a video on this, which I absolutely loved, about, did you ever know a winter that didn't end? Yes, it feels like it's never going to end. How can you plan for a future when you don't know when you can travel next, or you can't go visit your family? Doesn't matter. You've got to go above that, above the things that can't be done right now, and look at the things that can be done and how you weave that into your future. This is your new future. There are some things that Elaine talks about which I want to mention because they are so fundamental to shifting this narrative, which is to stop being a people pleaser. You don't have to please everybody. You don't even have to please yourself. I mean, you just have to be. And you don't have to please your family. Just be yourself. Enjoy that reality. Shine. Next thing is to create fun plans to get noticed. I wear hats. They always get noticed. And I wear hats because I love hats, not necessarily to get noticed, but it's fun when someone comments on your hat or your makeup or whatever. Do things that are going to, get you noticed in a positive way, but do good in the community. That's another thing. Just do something to help others. There's lots of opportunities now, not necessarily in person. Online there's plenty of virtual volunteering. And yeah, this is one thing she talks about, which is be charming, not bitchy. There's a difference. You can be charming and have a little bit of an attitude. It's okay, but be wild and wonderful and just be yourself. But don't be bitchy. It's just kind of some people get a little bit bitter and resentful when they're not paid attention to, or they don't get attention in the restaurant. But better just charm your way through those situations. There are millions of women who are alone, living alone, who feel marginalized, who feel isolated, who feel that the story of an older woman now is not accurate. We're not, grannies sitting in our rocking chairs, although some do like rocking chairs and some do knit, but it's not the whole story. So, have you ever felt that you were invisible? Have you thought about any of these 10 traits that I mentioned that are ways to change the story about what an older woman is and how you can be of value and relevance? Leave your comments in the section below. I'd love to have a conversation. I know this is a fun topic that we talk about a lot, but I think we take a different angle on it this time because I wanted to provide you with some practical things, specific things that you can do. If you've got some ideas, please share. And again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. And join our Patreon group. Check it out. 60 and it's Patreon, patreon.com/60andme. Patreon.com/60andme. We'd love to have you. Take very good care, everybody. Have a fabulous day. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now.